Hi everybody, and thanks for joining me for part 2 of Reviewing You, Reviewing Me, here on your favourite hospitality-ish podcast. Now, I ended part 1 by suggesting that I haven't even started ranting yet, and that in part 2, I'm really going to have something up my arse. However, I've had a week to reflect, and within that time, I've had what can only be described as an epiphany. So this episode will be full of joy, rainbows, strawberry jelly, and fluffy positivity. I'm Wise Fluffy Bunny Oldman, and this is Let's Be Honest. As per the introduction, I would just like to start by saying that in the last week, I've changed. I've had a moment of clarity. Actually, I've had a couple of moments, and now I love the world and especially the people in it. Yes, that's you. Hi. Also, if anybody's interested, I've just had the most invigorating cat yoga session, followed by a lavender-scented bubble bath while listening to Adele sing the sounds of the forest. Later, I'm going to listen to Meghan Markle's podcast. You go, sister. I also have a chamomile tea to replace my usual nasty tequila. I'm sitting on the floor next to a cranberry-scented candle, and I'm ready to talk to you. Hi again. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? Fuck me, I really don't think I can keep that up. Maybe it's an age thing. Shall we start this again? Yeah. Where was I? Ranting. It's going to get weird again, isn't it? Let's have a drink early on. It never gets old. When it comes to reviews, from a venue perspective, I personally hate the venue that pays for reviews. Did I say hate? I just wanted to make sure that came across. I really hate them. By the way, to all the people out there that say that you shouldn't say hate and don't be a hater, I say, grow the fuck up. It's just a cop-out because you don't really have an actual argument, do you? Look, I know I touched on this in the last episode, but hate has so many different levels and context, which I know is not particularly recognised as a thing anymore. But for instance, I hate avocado, Pattinson as Batman, and when I drop my toast and it lands butter side down on the floor. Does that make me a hater? No, it doesn't. And trust me, I really hate all of those things. I actually get very upset when somebody calls me a hater. I know I shouldn't. It's just usually someone with less brain cells than their shoe size. If you disagree with me, then you're a hater. No, I'm not. I just don't agree with you on certain matters, or I just don't like what you like. You fucking idiot. Soapbox moment over. Just to let you know, it's not tea. But I think you knew that, didn't you? Having too much fun already. We've only just started. Now, I'm fully aware that people do it, as in pay for reviews, and the reasons why. But it's ridiculous. I personally never have and never will do it, and neither should you. I believe that it's low, cheap, and lazy. I actually find it dishonest. Argue with me. Tell me that I'm wrong. If you can, try and find an argument on a moral level. How is paying for reviews not dishonest? Actually, I think I've already found the flaw in my own argument. You have to have morals. Mine, these days, are pretty strong. How are yours? I know that having higher ratings move you up to a more visible position, but that's not really a solid argument, is it? Not on a moral level anyway. If someone reviewed a hotel that they hadn't stayed at, would you listen to the review and take it in? Or would you not bother because it had zero knobbing credibility, based on the pure fact that this person hadn't stayed at the venue? Exactly. So how is this situation any different? Slightly more worrying for me is the kind of person that buys into this. Surely as a person reading a review, you can tell if it's fake or not. You see it all the time, especially on Facebook. You know, the ones that are usually short and lacking in substance, like, hey, let's go there for our next girls' night out. I hear they do great cocktails. All the dishes on the menu are amazeballs. All extremely non-committal and vague. Probably like the person writing them. Now, you may or may not know that I do virtually sod all research for my podcast. As I said, you may be thinking, well, that does explain a lot. My words are usually based on what I think, feel, witness, and my experiences to date. However, with regards to the fake review, this piece that I saw the other day really did catch my eye. And it stated that in 2006, a lie, truth, judgment, accuracy study of 25,000 people was conducted to basically see if people could recognize a fake review. The survey said, wow, 54%, that's just over half, figured out what was fake. That's almost the same as flipping a flipping coin. And that was in 2006. Imagine the level of fakery out there now, 16 years on from that study. I would like to apologise for the homemade sound effects. No budget again. Anyway, the question was, is that the type of clientele that you want in your venue? Of course, the answer to that is possibly yes. To some, it's all about the money, and that's okay. When I say it's okay, I clearly don't think it's okay, and I don't believe that there is a place in the industry for those people. If paying for reviews is how I get people through the door, I would rather not get people through the door. I would rather have a venue half full, but half full of the right people. I believe it's called integrity. And no, that's not the farm in South Park. One being the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, and the other, Stan's dad's exotic recreational plants. It's funny, you know, before I opened my last venue, I had a really strong vision of what I wanted the customer to look like. In my dreams at night and fantasies by day, it was so powerful. I think I knew the customer before I'd even met them. From day one to the very last day, 6 years on, the venue was filled with people that I wanted there. Also, I strongly believe that good people breed good people. Let me say that again. Good people breed good people. Nothing was manufactured. Isn't that what we all want for our business? I'll tell you something else it does. It makes it a pleasure to go to work every day. Again, isn't that what we all want? Even before I opened the venue, I filled it with things that I thought the customer would like. So for me, the venue was built on what I thought people wanted, not what I wanted. It's funny, you know, it was my place, yet I felt I was the least important person in it. I don't know, maybe there are just a few things to remember and keep in your back pocket if you ever find yourself in a position of opening or setting up a venue. Also, don't think for 1 second that when I started my business that I had money, meaning I didn't need reviews. I started with less than nothing. We, as in myself and my now wife, were so poor that one time outside the venue, there was a homeless person, and I gave him some money one day. He then proceeded to give it back to me, and he said, mate, because he had a bit of a snotty cough and a cold, he said, mate, I've seen inside your venue. Keep that money. Your venue's shit. That's how poor we were. However, he then went on to offer me a reach around for $20. Seemed reasonable with inflation and all that. Just wanted to see if you were still with me. He didn't. The reason I was in that predicament was, pre the venue I just mentioned, I owned another business and had a landlord that didn't run literally overnight, stitched me up for $100,000, blah, blah, blah. So to say I was in the hole was an understatement. But I've touched on that story before, as you know. Boo-hoo, right? Sorry, I went off in one again there. I just didn't want you to think that I was born with a silver bar spoon up my arse. That's Tuesdays. With a review, all I'm saying is you live by the sword and you die by the sword. You should anyway. If I'm good, then tell me. If I'm bad, tell me. Or vote with your feet and don't come back to the venue. If you continually blow fake smoke up somebody or a venue's arse, they will then start believing their own press, get a big head, and then not put in the work that is needed. That attitude will then filter down to the staff and onto the customer. How can it not? I mean, why should a venue try when they can just push a button and 1,000 people will tell them that their shit doesn't stink? It's absolute bollocks. That's why, in my opinion, there are so many soulless venues these days. Yeah, they may look shiny and busy, but, no character, no charm, just four walls under a roof of vacuous fake people. Even if you do pay for reviews, there is no guarantee it will work. Somebody I knew very well did this with their new venue. He threw money at the situation, probably because that's what the business Power Ranger guru suggested, instead of getting down, dirty, and doing some actual work. A few months into the venture, gone, out of business. Spent money he didn't have on promotions and reviews, but he couldn't back it up with product. Also, have you ever considered that after these fake reviews get written, legions of faceless, zombified individuals walk through your door? If I was a regular at a particular venue, I don't think I'd like that. It just upsets the balance all the time. What was that line from earlier? Good people breed good people. Personally, I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror if I did this. If all I did was push a button to get people through the door. Still, each to his own, I guess. Certain people and venues don't appear to have any shame these days. So that's my little rant out of the way, and you know where I stand. You may agree, you may not. Now, at this point, often people go on to say, I don't care what you think, because I'm right. No, not me. I am never going to say that I don't care what you think, because I really do. And that's why I'm doing this. I care what you think, because I care about the industry. I also care about people. I never used to, but I do more now than I ever did. I mean, Christ, I try anyway, but as we all know, it's not easy, is it, these days? Am I right? You're not wrong. Why don't we have the smallest of breaks before I really fucking get into one? So I'm going to lubricate myself. Ooh, ding dong. Cheers. And at the same time, I'm going to tell you that yet again, this episode is sponsored by our very lovely friends at Mystery Management. Yes, they're back. They never went away. So why is this company that's been around for a whopping 16 years a sponsor of Let's Be Honest? Because they're the same as us. Customer service is their game. They will work with you in identifying issues within your business, thus creating more bookings equaling more sales. Happy, happy days. They will send skilled mystery shoppers into over 2,000 venues, from bars and clubs to airports and liquor stores, all with the express purpose of offering quality feedback to make your business more efficient and profitable. As anybody with the business knows, you can stand still or you can move forward. What's going on in your business? mysterymanagement.com.au. Now then. Oh Christ, I sound like Jimmy Savile. Fucking hell, that's not a good sound, is it? Now then. I realise that in previous episodes I've said that the customer was always right. But come on, what I meant was they're right until they're wrong. I think that's pretty clear, don't you? I wouldn't even know where to start with the catalogue of bizarre reviews that I've received over the last 10 years. From the quote, I really didn't like the place. The room was a strange shape. It was fucking rectangle. Another good one was, it was terrible. There were no windows. It was a fucking basement. And my personal all-time favourite, the round barrels were too round. I truly love that one. Referring, of course, to those big barrels that you put stools around and sit around at a bar. Absolutely brilliant. I couldn't even make that up if I tried. I mean, I'm laughing at it now, but I certainly wasn't laughing when it happened. Why don't we pause for a quote or two? There is no such thing as bad publicity, and the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Quotes that you are almost certainly aware of, however, in my opinion, both to be taken with a very big pinch of salt, in that they are quite possibly, potentially, complete and utter shite. Lines uttered by a poet and a circus owner in the 19th century may have worked back then, but now things are slightly different. So if you do find yourself on the receiving end of bad publicity, don't just reference those quotes with a certain amount of acceptance and flippancy, almost wearing them like a badge of honour. You know, the type of person that goes, well, I know we gave 25 people food poisoning and the security guard punched that bloke in a wheelchair, but somebody did a song on TikTok about us. And you know, any publicity's good publicity. Twats. I know these days people don't give a monkey's testicle why they are famous and talked about. But when you're alone, yes, you, and at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, well, you know, don't you? You can lie to yourself. Your so-called friends can blow smoke up your ass. But the mirror, well, it's a brutally honest bastard. Fuck. I'm like the Grim Reaper today. So what to do if a shitty review comes your way? You take the review and you use its stupidity and nastiness, then carefully take aim and fire back with meticulously placed wit, intelligence and class. And then you own that fucking bitch. When I say bitch, I just mean bitch in that it's a thing, not a gender or person. You know, the review is a bitch. No offence to lady dogs or the big alien in the 1986 movie Aliens. Wow, apologising is really exhausting. Still, I guess it'd be far more exhausting if I actually meant it. If you get shitty reviews, then it will 100% lose the venue a certain amount of new customers. However, all is not lost. Even if you get a bad one, it really doesn't matter because it's how you deal with them that counts. Are some of you thinking at this point, well, yeah, obvious? As I've said many times, not everybody is as brilliant as you, are they? Besides, the people that do think they're brilliant are often, well, they're not, are they? Time for a wise newsflash. Every single person that I know that is actually brilliant doesn't think that they are. So firstly, you're always going to get bad reviews. I think if Facebook, or as Stephen Fry calls it, the internet version of the lavatory wall, has taught us anything, people just want to air an opinion, even if it's not their own. Let's face it, it rarely is their own these days. I got totally battered and received a 1-star review once from this guy. Oh, this is priceless, man. He pulled everything apart in the venue with his comments. It was nasty, offensive. It almost felt personal. The funny thing is, we were not even open on the night that he said he came in. How messed up is that? Have you ever heard the phrase, stranger than fiction? That's reviews. That's hospitality at times. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. Anyway, hey-ho, I think that's the moment that my mood changed from annoyance and anger to this is just laughable and that you just can't compete with that level of hate and stupidity. As I said in episode 1, if you remember, it's just not a fair fight. So whether the person reviewing is being truthful or just vindictive and small, it's important to remember that you are not replying to them. They're gone anyway. They ain't coming back. That's if they ever came in the first place, that is. You are writing your reply to everybody else reading the review. That's what the future customer is reading. I double wise fucking Oldman guarantee that. For example, the lady that said that the view from the bar was poor because of the lack of windows. Now, based on the fact that the bar was a basement, I politely and of course sarcastically suggested that I was in the process of putting in some windows so that she could see the Eiffel Tower or herds of wildebeest majestically roaming across an African plain, loosely taking a reference from an old episode of Fawlty Towers. Fawlty Towers was a comedy in the late 70s that... Never mind. I keep forgetting the world is only 30 years old and probably flat. But by the power vested in me using people's stupidity and my own big boy grown-up sparkly attitude, that reply started something that I did not expect. The amount of people that came into the venue because of my reply and actually said to me, "We love what you did. We love the humour. This sounds like our kind of place." I didn't see that coming. I mean, I didn't reply that way to gain followers or whatever you wish to call it. I did it because I try and find the humour in as much as I possibly can. It kind of gets me through the day. And I think we all should do that. If we don't, we need to start today. I mean, you kind of have to in this nutty business, don't you? And when I say business, I mean life. I say this to you because it really, really works. I say it to you because if you take a beat and consider your actions, you can get it to work for you. If I would have fired back at this lady in the negative, I believe I would have been totally justified because her comment was ludicrous. But I'm so glad that I didn't, because nobody wins and nobody comes out of that one looking good. It's probably also worth mentioning that in my last venue, I received maybe 700 reviews from this one particular platform. I replied to 700 reviews. Why? Because people took the time to review. The very least I could do is reply back. Wouldn't you agree? Oh dear, I feel a rant coming on again. Fuck, I should have a drink before I do this. Actually, having a drink probably is the last thing I should do before I do this. So when I say reply, I don't mean that formulaic fucking bullshit that most venues hide behind. You know, the one that goes, "We are very pleased that you had a great time. We hope you visit us again. Your custom is valuable to us." Vomit, vomit, vomit. So much thought gone into that reply. Or if the venue got a bad review, "We are very sorry that you had an unsatisfactory time at our venue. Here at Bullshit House, we always do our best to uphold a standard. Your custom is very valuable to us." Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit, you mechanical robot swat? What was that reply anyway? You didn't say anything. You didn't offer or solve anything. These fucking people that reply to a review in this manner are half robot, half fucking robot. Do you think anybody reading your reply, good or bad, is going to be impressed by you? No, not in the slightest. I bet you're not even impressed by you. Actually, that's quite a good question. If you're the kind of person that replies to reviews like this, when was the last time you were impressed by yourself? Never. If you put in zero effort, you will get zero result. I know, genius, right? Try it. Put in zero effort at the gym, with your relationship, with your fucking dog. Who gives a shit? You will get zero results. But in work, it's apparently okay. And you are getting paid as well, you mercenary knob. People, customers, are not stupid. If you treat your customer as stupid, that's the kind of customer that you are going to get. If you treat your dog like a git, that dog will become a git. Have you ever seen a man or a woman and their dog is a bit of a wanker? Yes, dogs can be wankers. That pretty much means that their owner is a wanker. But hey, as I mentioned earlier, maybe you're okay with having idiot customers. Maybe it's just a money thing. Maybe it's got nothing to do with integrity, class, or creating something meaningful and worthwhile. I despise, with the intensity of 1,000 white-hot fucking suns, this lazy, disrespectful, and formulaic way of replying. If the review was nice, say thank you. Tell the customer that it means a lot to you and to your company, because it should. Tell that reviewer that it's appreciated and that you are flattered. That person will love the fact that you replied. Also, other people that read the review will see what you did and will 100% love what you did. That customer right there, the one that left the review, not only travelled to your venue, they spent money and then took the time to leave a review. The only thing they didn't do is make a drink or cook the fucking food. When looking at a venue online, most people will read, I don't know, between 5 and 10 reviews. I think that's about fair, wouldn't you say? So imagine if you have 10 solid reviews in a row and you reply using a variety of thoughtful phrases, providing your vocabulary extends to more than 30 words, that is, then you have pretty much got that customer. It makes you look thoughtful, caring, and that you appreciate their custom. You should anyway. So fucking say it. They, the next customer, they were thinking of coming to your venue anyway. That's why they were looking at your review. So you, the person replying to the review, just nailed it. All because over your morning coffee, for the amount of time it took you to drink that coffee, other than looking at fucking cats dressed as Star Wars characters on your phone, you created business. How good does that feel? Creating business while you've got your feet up having a coffee. That's being a boss. If you currently are not the boss, you soon will be doing shit like that. It's called working smart, my friends, and I did this every single day for the 6 years in my last place. And it really, really paid dividends. Just took a little bit of effort. There was no real excuse not to do it. I had a coffee every day, so it became a habit. Why not make it part of the coffee ritual? Some people have a donut and look at cats. Some people make money. Sometimes I had a donut. Don't tell the wife. Also, let me ask you a question. Do you think that you will get more satisfaction as an individual connecting with people by the words that you use and making them feel good, or by sending 10 replies using the same words? Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Thank you for visiting our venue. Yawn, fucking yawn, time-wasting tit. If you are the latter of those two options, then you are soulless, dead inside, and rather unhappy at your work. You probably have a nice title though. Ooh, maybe you are a customer liaison ambassador, a Jedi vibe manager, or perhaps a marketing rockstar architect. Oh yeah, who wouldn't like a bit of that? Maybe you also have a shiny badge like a sheriff. Ooh. And another thing. Sorry, this was not meant to go on this long. I really am one now. I just remembered something else that gets right up my Gary. You know when you read reviews and the review only replies to the ones that are good, in that formulaic way, of course. They don't reply to the bad. Why? Why in God's name would you do that? Someone has just had the shittest of times at your venue, yet that's the review that you chose to ignore? Pure arrogance and total lack of respect for the customer. You are up there with fucking serial killers for me. If you happen to be one of those people, try not to get upset with me for what I'm saying. Maybe there's a little truth in it. Maybe you could change it up a little. Only if you want to, of course. If you think I'm a tosser for suggesting such an outrageous thing, then I'm sure you're right. Maybe I'm a hater. However, I can still look in the mirror and I'm pretty sure I'll sleep tonight. If you are the first option, however, you will get a sense of satisfaction and get a kick out of seeing people happy. Do you know what? Are there many things better in life than making people happy? I don't think so. If it were Christmas, which, depending on when you're listening to this, it kind of is or it most definitely isn't, I would say that one of you likes to receive gifts and the other likes to watch people's faces when they open their gifts. Big fucking difference. Sorry, shouldn't swear at Christmas. I think that ship's passed. Do you happen to remember in episode 1 of the podcast, we talked about the rise of the machines and that the robots are replacing us? Well, here it is again. The person with their standard replies that have no heart, emotion, or understanding are quite robotic, wouldn't you say? Also, if a robot can do what you do, then why is there a you? What is your actual purpose? I'll say it again, why not? The robots are coming, and they're going to get you. No, not you, your aces. I'm talking about the brand wizard next to you. We all know the robot people, they exist. Then they complain that their job leaves them unfulfilled. That person then gets replaced by a machine that can do the same job, and then the customer service aspect of the industry goes even further down the toilet. Who fucking knew? Time for a Wise Oldman newsflash again. The problem, it's not the job. It's not people. It's you. This industry, our industry, the fucking world needs real, genuine, caring people. So please believe me when I tell you that if you commit and put some effort into the subject of reviews, then you will reap the benefits financially and personally. I triple Wise Oldman guarantee it. Just to finish, if I have genuinely offended any staff that write formulaic replies, then on this occasion, I genuinely don't give a shit. Hey, woohoo! Jesus, I really think I need to lie down after that episode. Thank you again for listening, everybody. Your commitment to the podcast every week means so much more than you know. Jesus once said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness." Now, I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm just saying it would be nice if you followed me. Until next time, be nice, be smart, and get those reviews to work for you. Only if you can be asked, of course. Speak soon.